My name is Tori Smith, and normally I do daily reports on the MyLab child trafficking operation in the United States and also in other locations. And a friend of mine today was talking about this doctor who was doing reports on child trafficking in the early 2000s, and it was a report that he did was in 2004, and he was saying that over 2,400 children were being gang raped and murdered every day, every single day, that more than 2,400 children on this planet were being killed. And, you know, she said, is that true? And I said, well, I haven't had time to investigate that yet. But, you know, because I'm only looking at the MyLab child trafficking, which is police, military, politicians, and corporate executives. But that doesn't include, like, the Super Bowl, you know, when they traffic in a lot of girls to have sex with the men in the skyboxes and stuff like that. But I've had a big breakthrough today. It's been a really rough weekend because I've done some pretty intense reports, and every time I do that, they come and attack with the weapons and stuff, and that's why I look the way I do. You know, I've had radiation poisoning. That's why I lost all this bone in my face, and I'm always swelling up. You know, a certain part of my male anatomy was huge this morning, and not because I had a desire for that, but it was filled with some kind of liquid. And they do that with my abdomen, too. All kinds of stuff they do. But I found a wonderful new protection thing that cleanses the energies out, and I want to share it with you right away. All you have to do is say, I intend that I am infinite love. I intend that I am infinite awareness. And what happens is, because I was listening to David Icke, and I just got his new book a couple months ago, but I haven't had any time to read it. And he was talking about an experience where he was exposed to this energy, which was new to him at the time. One was called infinite love, and the other was called infinite awareness. And he likened it to like a universe-wide wireless internet that you could tap into and get information from. And so I started doing some meditations where I would say, I am infinite love, and it really helped. I am infinite awareness. And then today, it really hit me with the power of intention, you know, because my thoughts have been kind of scrambled and stuff, and due to everything that's going on. And then the first time I said, I am infinite love, it immediately pushed out all the weapons energy and brought me to a state of being much more healthy. And then normally what I do is I bring in this 0-point energy, and I have to do all kinds of things to clear my head. Well, lately, that's just been reduced to one quick movement. But then what I say is, I intend that I am infinite awareness, and all that dark energy that they block is instantly removed. And, you know, a lot of people don't see into the etheric or astral levels, but it's like all these gold sparkles just come down from heaven and just clear everything out. It's wonderful. I intend that I am infinite love. I intend that I am infinite awareness. And there was a process that unrevealed. See, this is back when, I want to share another experience really quick, because I'll probably have to do more than one video about these people. The Deneb is what they're called. And I discovered them today. And what happened to me before was, when I was filling everyone up with light and doing energy work and doing healing for everybody, trying to get people broken away from the matrix spell and all these horrible energies that we've been suppressed under, I always thought the director of the CIA was it. You know, I thought he was the #1 guy of the CIA. And I went through another thing like I did today where I advanced a little bit in awareness because I started asking questions. And right away I found the CIA headquarters, and it's not in the United States, it's in Lake Geneva, next to the Hadron Collider and CERN. And then, you know, a short time later, I found out that the #1 guy at the CIA is called the Supreme Leader. And this came up several times, and then the more I would look at people's DNA that we were arresting, well, so we've been through the planet Earth has been through 36 now. I'm being corrected, 37 now, 37 Supreme Leaders of the CIA. And that's because we're doing this process where we transfigure and transmute those who are coming in from other planets. And then once that process is complete, then the galactics are assisting us by arresting them. See, the galactics just can't come in and fix our problems for us. It doesn't work like that. We have to take the initiative, and we have to do things. But the best advice I can give to you right now, because most of you are praying for this child trafficking operation to end, already know what the power of intent is. You can Google the power of intent. There's all kinds of spiritual teachers out there that teach you how to use the power of intention. Wayne Dyer, Esther Hicks, there's a whole bunch of them. And they're all wonderful people. Hay House, Louise Hay. And what I'm saying is, one of the most powerful things that I found in the longest time is, I intend that I am infinite awareness. I intend that I am infinite love. And I'm not telling you to say that about me. I always speak in the first person, because then when you hear that, you say, hey, I am infinite love. I am infinite awareness. Yeah, you don't say, well, he's that guy over there. Well, he's infinite love. And what about her? Just forget all that. Just focus on I. I am infinite love. I am grateful that I have been healed completely. And it works so much better and so much faster. So it just came up in one of the readings that 406 people are choosing, because our Indiana primary is May 3rd. There are 406 people choosing who, and I wrote them down, I wrote it down somewhere, but 406 people are choosing who gets elected. And on Saturday, they decided who wins all the primaries. Because I was really upset that this one guy who just became involved in child trafficking last month, well, now 2 months, of March, that he's already been declared the winner, and they're not even going to vote for 3 days. Well, I knew the voting elections had been rigged, so I took a little bit closer of a look. And I always tell people I have no imagination whatsoever. If I had to write a sitcom, I couldn't even write one episode. I mean, look at like Everybody Loves Raymond. I mean, what do they have? Over 200 episodes, and they were pretty funny. How could you sit down and write all that out? I couldn't do it. I just have no imagination. So I took a look at these 406 people that were rigging the elections, and I saw what they were doing. See, they were told who's going to win each seat, okay? And then they have a formula, but what they do is they have to wait until they see how many people have voted. Once they see how many people have voted, they start using percentages. Let's say if there's 3 people running and 6,600 people vote, or whatever, 6,000 people vote. Then they'll say, okay, well, the number one guy got 42%. The second guy that we didn't want him to win. He got 26%, or whatever. But they work it out so the winner gets the most percentage of votes, and then the computer program does the rest. The computer program basically runs it out. And I was like, well, it's not that the NSA is in control of anything. The NSA monitors every email, every website you go to, every text message, every telephone call on every phone. They have personal files on every person on this planet, except for some of the indigenous tribes like in Africa, but they still monitor how many people are born. Even in like Indian tribes or whatever, people that aren't connected to technology, they still monitor them. But they don't make any decisions. They're a puppet criminal organization. They just do what they're told to do. Just like the FBI, when it's like, oh, we want you to murder this guy, go out and kill him, we don't like him. And the FBI says, okay, yes, sir. The CIA, they're like, okay, CIA, we want to have a war in Syria. We're going to pretend it's going to be a political uprising and blah, blah, blah. Just go in and kill a bunch of people. Go into the Ukraine and kill a bunch of people. So the CIA, they hire people, they set them up, they turn them into, radicals or whatever, and then they carry out the war. The CIA is a puppet organization. So my question was, well, who was it that actually decided that, that the man who joined the child trafficking operation was destined to win? Because it's all a big buddy system. That's why they give him huge amounts of money. That's why this child trafficking operation has cost taxpayers over $1 trillion, because they hand out cash to politicians who will be one of the good boys and do exactly what he's told. Oh, really? You want me to murder a bunch of people just to, send this agenda even further? As long as I get lots of money, sure, I'll do it. That's what the politicians always say, because they're evil, horrible people. And so I knew that the Anunnaki, let's go back to the control. Who's in control? Who's making these decisions? Because the Anunnaki infiltrated the Atlantis, and they got Atlantis to destroy Lemuria. There were 2 major colonies on this planet, but people lived all over the earth from up to 900,000 years ago, and you can do all this research yourself. Say, I am infinite awareness, and then the answers will come so much more easier. But what happened, to make a long story short, The Anunnaki came in, took over Atlantis, they destroyed Lemuria. The people of Lemuria knew it was about to be destroyed because they're very advanced people, and they moved inside the earth and called it Agartha. Okay, they're still there, and they're really wonderful. But in fact, I met this woman down there one time. She was 138,000 something years old. I started laughing. I'm like, my God, you look like a third of my age, and I'm like, what, 50 or whatever at the time, I forget. They're so beautiful down there. Galactic humans are so beautiful. You know why? Because they don't have to put up with the crap that we do. The toxins in the air and the poisons, water, and everything. And the Anunnaki worked almost exclusively with the Insectians. And the Insectians are probably the smartest ones of all. And I don't mean smart like they have spiritual awareness. I mean smart like intelligent, that they could completely decode our DNA and build new people. That's where the cloning came from, the cloning process, the blending process of different people. They opened DNA labs on this planet somewhere between 13 and 18,000 BC. And they were underground because the Insectians are horrible monsters. And they started doing genetic work then on people of this planet. Of course, they brought in people from other places. Okay, so the Anunnaki left in 1996. They decided to move into the light. They're now under contract. They have to serve negative karma, but they're not being prosecuted for the crimes. Now, the reptilians here, everybody was given that same offer, but Bush and Cheney and all the reptilians, they said, no, we're not going to do that. We are gods, and you're not, and you're stupid. So, but look, now Bush has been arrested, and he doesn't even exist anymore. Yay. Okay, and so, because the reptilians aren't that smart. The reptilians cannot control a planet of people. They just don't have what it takes up here. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're a stupid inferior race that have been given high technology, and they're told what to do. Now, they make great soldiers because they can't think too much, and they always carry out orders, especially when it comes to raping and murdering people and eating human children. Those are the things that they do best. I remember Obama once, he was laughing at me, and because he had this weapon, and he was telling me how much more advanced he was than me. And I said, you know what, you can put a high technology weapon into a cage of monkeys, and it's only a matter of time till one of the monkeys shoots it off. And see, it's already 12 minutes, and I haven't even gotten to, we would have had 1,100 arrests today. 1,112 were arrested today. I'm already at 12 minutes. I'll have to do part 1 and part 2. And back to who was in control. And then, between 2012 and 2013, as I've said many times, the Dracos were arrested and removed. There were 1,738 of them. Next up were the 316,000 Eta-Draconians. Now, these are beings from the Draco constellation. There's a whole bunch of stars out there. They all have planets. Eta Draconis, Alpha Draconis. Like Queen Elizabeth, she was Alpha Draconian. A lot of the ones here were Alpha Draconians. And there was Sigma, Gamma. There's a whole bunch of star systems, or a whole bunch of planets out there around the star systems of the Draco constellation. Well, every star system has life, every one of them. And so, in the fall of 2014, the Insectians left. Well, there went the last of the intelligence on this planet. And why am I talking about humans or whatever? I'm talking about the freaks of the dark side who have to control and murder everybody. Those are the ones we're talking about. And most of the Insectians arrested, but some of them did go on their own way, and they were all gone by winter, January 2015. And then, if you have watched my videos, you remember back when I kept saying all these reptilians are coming in, but they're not really reptilians, they're really 5 species people. And I can say, well, there's some reptilians, some amphibians, some insectian, and some a race that I don't know what it is. And some of them had some human in them, some of them had some dinosaurian in them, and but the one that I couldn't recognize is the one that we arrested today. And it all came because of, I said, thank you God for this infinite awareness. I intend that I am infinite awareness. And all of a sudden, once I got myself cleared out and stuff, all this information came through, and I found, it was just like finding the CIA. I didn't even know the CIA was a worldwide organization. I thought it was only in the United States of filthy lying murderers. I didn't know that the CIA headquarters was in Lake Geneva. But then we found them. And there seems to be discrepancy about how you pronounce their name. but the star is spelled D-E-N-E-B in the Cygnus system, and it's also right next to another star called Satyr, S-A-D-R, if you want to look it up. And I looked online, and the woman's like, well, it's pronounced Deneb. And, I talked to the Galactics, and they're like, no, it's not. It's Deneb is how they pronounce it, and that's the best pronunciation I can come up with. But 1,012 Deneb beings were arrested a little while ago, about a couple hours ago. And it turns out there were 14 species in one. And but I'm so glad they're gone. And they were in charge of this horrible thing that if you want to see in great detail, go to Galactic Connections YouTube channel and look up the David Icke interview by Alexandra Maters. And they're talking about this thing called a virus. And the virus turned out, I did a bunch of research on it, that'll have to be part 2. The virus was actually being controlled by this group of people. And the reason that they were still here was because they don't eat humans and they don't rape humans. But they were only here because they were intelligent beings, and they were masters of energy manipulation, and they were the smartest ones of the dark side. And I just wanted to share with you because we had a major breakthrough. And please, I ask you with all my heart, normally I want to ask everyone to help close down the child trafficking operation, but it really helps to say, I intend, I am infinite awareness. I intend, I am infinite love. Try saying that, 10 or 50 times a day and watch how your life change. Thank you. Let's celebrate a little bit today anyway. Thank you.